I want to talk about Trump.
Oh, that guy.
Okay?
That guy.
And his terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week. All right? He had a rough one. And I actually
Yeah,
wrote...
he doesn't think that.
No,
Trump
he thinks he had the
he
greatest
thinks he had
week
a
in the
great
history of
week, and
mankind.
I don't think he's got ever thinks he makes a mistake. You know.
Well, let me read something. This is something, and I try not to be too political online, social networks and whatnot, and you'll know why when I read this.
Okay.
This is something I wrote. I'd like to just put it out there, and maybe we can discuss it for a minute.
Sure.
I put a picture of Hillary and Trump from the debate last weekend, and they both have microphones, and they both seem to be walking at the same time. So here's what I wrote. This picture from last night's debate makes it look as though Trump and Clinton are a modern-day version of Sonny and Cher.
I saw that.
But instead of singing I Got You, Babe, they're closer to a perverse rendition of The Beat Goes On. Listen, I purposely shy away from political posts. Once you pick a side, you alienate a large number of people. Michael Jordan was reportedly fond of saying Republicans buy sneakers too, whenever pressed on why he refused to comment on political matters. But silence at this point, now I'm speaking to my community, all right? I'm speaking to my community, Christians. But silence at this point is tantamount to complicity. Full disclosure, I lean to the left on issues like education, health care, and the poor, but I'm staunchly anti-abortion. I'm a father to 3 wonderful daughters, a grandfather to 9 grandkids, 4 of which are girls, and a 10th is on the way. And my apologies in advance. This might be a bit long. It really isn't. I just watched a video featuring a man who allows himself to be referred to as a prophet. I will say his name on the air. His name is Lance Wallnau. He's very well known in our circles, my circle. And he has just released a book called God's Chaos Candidate that he has been writing for a while. He makes all these prophetic declarations that Donald Trump has been sent by God to America, that he is God's answer. He sees him like a wrecking ball coming to destroy the establishment. And so we overlook everything. He makes the argument that he's like Cyrus in the Old Testament, who was not a believing man, not a godly man, but actually helped the children of Israel. So his name is Lance Wallnau. So I just watched a video featuring a man named Lance Wallnau. And I said, trust me, he's pretty famous. I watched as he castigated Christians who were offended by Donald Trump's locker room talk. That's the thing that happened with Access Hollywood, right? He said that Christians are easy to manipulate, and further said the enemy, Satan, was doing just that with the Access Hollywood audio. So he was saying that that audio being released was the enemy. And he said, if we had issues with Trump's comments, we have given in to a religious spirit. And here's what I said. Well, he's certainly right about Christians being easily manipulated, as he's just released God's Chaos Candidate, which is number 150 on Amazon's charts and the number 2 selling political book in America right now. So Christians are easily manipulated.
Yeah, I wonder.
Before you assume I'm pitching Hillary, know this. I see what most of you see, a woman who has lied, misled, and probably worse on her way to where she is. I'm no fan. And I'll sheepishly admit that I was entertained and saddened by Trump's comments to her at last night's debate. He went off on her. Trump? Well, I don't need to say much, do I? So let's get to the real issues. Christians are lining up to vote Trump mostly over a single issue, abortion. Most people believe that he would appoint Supreme Court justices that would eventually overturn Roe versus Wade. So that becomes the reasoning. I've even read articles that have suggested that voting for anyone other than Donald Trump is to deny Christ. Not Hillary, not a third party, only Trump. I don't buy it. Republicans have had opportunities to effect change time and again. George W. Bush was president for 8 full years and nothing changed. Why is that? We could go back to that prophet I referenced earlier, the one who said that Christians are easily manipulated. Here's the truth, we are. And every 4 years, an ideology is trotted out that becomes red meat for us. Abortion. It makes us foam and froth, and it makes us vote. I'm convinced that at the highest levels of the Republican Party, there is zero desire to repeal Roe versus Wade. And why would they? It becomes the rallying cry every 4 years, and you don't let go of a sure thing. You just don't. The Democrats, they're just as bad. Every 4 years, they act like they care about African Americans, Latinos, gays, and the poor. And like the Republicans, they have no desire to effect lasting change. And why would they? Where's the incentive? Every 4 years, they can count on votes, as they make more empty promises. Are you seeing the picture? Our hope cannot be in government leaders. Now I'm speaking to my community, to Christians. Our hope cannot be in government or leaders. It just can't. The Bible says in Psalm 20 that some trust in chariots and others in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. Our hope must be in God. I respect all of you. I really do. Those of you who have a different view than me, I respect you. And even at a certain level, I respect Lance Wallnau. So please don't take this as bashing him. He just happens to be the guy that has stepped in and done some things. I respect all of you. I really do. I know that you're sincere, but I will not be voting for Donald Trump. I have daughters. I have granddaughters. And unlike the story of Esau in the Bible, I am not willing to sacrifice my birthright for Supreme Court appointments, as tempting as that might be. We cannot make America great again by overlooking inexcusable behavior. Decisions like that have a way of being visited on future generations. Please hear me. I'm going to say that line again. We cannot make America great again by overlooking inexcusable behavior. Decisions like that have a way of being visited on future generations, and we can no longer defend by denigration. Well, Hillary did this or Bill did that. It's like that woman on that insurance commercial who removed friends from her literal wall. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Our defense should never be that someone else did bad things as well. As believers, we should be demanding a higher level of discourse, a better way that doesn't include settling for the worst. Am I voting for Hillary? Probably not. I'll cast votes on Election Day because that's my duty as a Christian and an American. But my hope will always be in God, and my cry continues to be on earth as it is in heaven. So, you probably have no doubt where I stand. I think that this is an evil man that has come to the forefront. Now, he's an evil man that we have said, oh, well, we need this. I mean, there's even my community. If you knew, there's a very famous Christian author. Her name is Beth Moore, who is very well loved within the Christian community, who has come under fire because she has said, I cannot support this man after these statements. And so many Christians are saying, oh, get over it, a religious spirit, and just, we forgive. Here's one that was said to me. He who is without sin cast the first stone. Ahmad, I'm a sinner. So I don't mean to cast stones, but I have eyeballs. I have a brain, and I hear from heaven sometimes. And I'm telling you, what is happening in this country with Donald Trump is not God's best. What are your thoughts?